This next match is scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, accompanied by Rocco and his Greco coach James Pellins from Syracuse, New York, standing at 295 pounds, Nick the Natural Sullivan!
Nick Sullivan is a beast, Riley, an absolute beast.
But he's not going up against any slouch here. His opponent here tonight, Nick Aldis, is accomplished, to say the least. We are in for one hell of a bout.
I watched Nick Sullivan wrestle a match at our last show where he barely moved from the center of the ring. I kid you not. Barely moved.
His opponent here tonight, Nick Aldis, no slouch, two-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, two-time TNA World Tag Team Champion with Doug Williams and Samoa Joe, New Japan IWGP Tag Team Champion, a GFW Global Champion, and let's not forget, this is a man who's even beaten Cody Rhodes.
And this is trainer Jamie, who, at my expense, we flew in from training the Olympic in Paris, France, to increase Nick Sullivan's power tenfold for today. Well, sir, your job is done. We have a nice armchair and an ottoman for you back there. Go enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. And as for you, Nick Aldis, you will not move Nick Sullivan from this spot, nor will he, until he is good and ready to slam your body through the canvas. And as for all of yous, from the bottom of my little heart, I hope you enjoyed your meets and your greets. Because after the carnage that Nick Sullivan commits today, Nick Aldis will never set foot in Canada again.
Ooh. Strong words from Rocco. Nick Sullivan says he is not going to move.
If there's anyone that can move Nick Sullivan, it is Nick Aldis.
Here comes Nick Aldis. Nick Sullivan, on the other hand.
Listen to this reception from this crowd.
Nick Sullivan, on the other hand, refusing to move from his mark in the middle of the ring. He says he will not move until he is good and ready. Nick Aldis, just one of the many legends we had earlier today at Chinlock for Charity. Legends signing, all of the proceeds from that going to Indigenous charities here in the Tyendinega Mohawk area.
Absolutely. A huge thank you to all of the legends who've been able to appear and help us raise those funds for those very important causes here in Tyendinega.
One of those legends, Tommy Dreamer, still to come later. Also Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Big Con, who will be facing Tommy Dreamer in a bit.
And don't forget about Earl Hebner, who's going to be the special enforcer.
Earl Hebner, Tatanka, Mickey James. What a day it's been here in Tyendinega.
The crowd now rallying behind Nick Aldis to try to move Nick Sullivan, and that didn't work, Sideshow.
Nick Sullivan, the natural baby. He refuses to move. He will move when he's ready to move.
I've known houses with less stable foundation than Nick Sullivan has right now.
Nick Sullivan could leave footprints in concrete.
Sullivan's still not moving, and that is not to say that Nick Aldis is not putting his all into this. Nick Aldis himself, as you can see, a large man.
Nick Aldis is a very large man, but Sullivan has planted his feet, and he's not going anywhere.
Aldis going over the top of Sullivan, and, well, I mean, he's moved.
He just poked the bear. Tiger's about to get out of the cage. Here we
I grew up in a
go!
farming town, and I've seen people get kicked in the head by horses for pulling moves like that.
We should see if there's a pothole in the ground over there now from where Nick Sullivan just went out.
Unconventional, but Sullivan did get moved by Nick Aldis, and the crowd is supporting Aldis for it.
Rocco trying to talk some sense back into Nick Sullivan.
Rocco's got to move quickly here. The ref is doing that 10 count that could cost Sullivan the match.
Nick Sullivan taking his time. Like I said, he moves from his mark in the middle of the ring when he wants to. He'll move from his spot outside the ring when he wants to.
We're already up to a 7 count. Sullivan just making his way back to the ring. Breaking that count.
Calmly.
The focus in the eyes of Nick Sullivan.
I can't wait to see these two lock up. Look at this.
Oh, Sullivan dodging under the arm of Aldis, and now just throwing Aldis around, bringing him to the ground, and then just leaving him in the corner. He knows that he is a stable, confident man.
Nick Sullivan not wasting any energy in this match. You can tell he knows where he needs to be and when. He's going to exert the energy he needs to exert. He's not going to go flying around the ring. He's not going to be attacking when he doesn't need to attack.
Nick Sullivan is the human embodiment of don't sweat the small stuff. I don't think he has formed a single bead of sweat. Oh! Aldis going for the eye here.
Aldis just going for insult instead of injury in this match, it seems. Wow, those blows are
those are definitely going to cause injuries, sir.
Injury causing.
You can see the head of Sullivan bouncing off that top turnbuckle, and now
He's biting him.
Nick Aldis biting Nick Sullivan.
Is that the English style? Is that, oh.
I mean, how do you think their teeth got that way? Gotta say, Sullivan and Rocco, an odd pairing, but color coordinated. Look at Sullivan's boots and Rocco's suit.
These are the broadcast partners you set me up with, guys, eh? The guys that notice jackets and boots. Thank you. Ooh.
Nick Aldis with a baseball slide, planting himself between Rocco and Sullivan, and I wasn't going to say, how wise is that? It turns out not that wise. Nick Sullivan coming up behind Aldis, now just clobbering him in the back.
Oh, no. Ooh.
With all the inertia behind that stable, strong, planted, thick man in Sullivan, that's a lot of pressure to put on the spine of Aldis.
Oh.
Big belly-to-belly takeover suplex.
Again, taking the steam, taking the wind out of Nick Aldis.
But you got to see, Sullivan did just pause before going for that cover. Is he playing with Aldis? Is he not taking him seriously? That could bite Sullivan if he doesn't watch himself here.
1, 2, 3, come on, Sullivan. Come on,
Referee breaking it up with a count. There's Rocco getting involved. Rocco getting his payback for earlier.
See, you chirped me for bringing the jacket into effect, but look at that. Rocco just brought the jacket into the effect of the match.
Doesn't matter what color the jacket is. He could have done that with a brown jacket.
Everybody knows blue jackets choke better. As Sullivan goes in for a big splash in the corner, Aldis just a heap. Aldis kicking out purely on instinct. He doesn't look like he has got his situation figured out right now.
Sullivan's going to keep applying pressure, taking the wind out of the sails of Nick Aldis. This is what Sullivan needs to do. He needs to make sure that he can get Aldis off his feet and out of wind. the longer this match goes, you have to assume it's going to go in the favor of Nick Aldis. So Sullivan just draining Nick Aldis of all of the wind in his sails.
Sideshow, I've got a long-established history of agreeing with you, or at least hating to agree with you, but I gotta say, you are making some strong points right here.
I think I'm making some great points. You'll see the natural Nick Sullivan about to continue to do what he does best, and that's wear down Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis is rallying back, but maybe not for long. Huge German suplex with the bridge from Nick Sullivan, only getting a 2 count, but maintaining that wrist lock.
Is he going to go for another one? He can get him back up.
Maybe not.
Look at this, draining him.
Maybe not going for another German suplex. You're right. He is just keeping that waist lock applied, as you've mentioned, trying to wear down Nick Aldis so he can't get a full breath, so he can't get all of that oxygen to his body, so he can't fight his way out of this, but he is trying. Some clubbing blows to the forehead of Nick Sullivan, and managing to clap the ears, disorient Sullivan just long enough to break free, but not capitalizing as of yet.
Aldis is winded. He is winded. This is exactly what Sullivan was looking for.
Up and over! The powerhouse, the strength of Nick Aldis, desperation kicking in there, bringing a vertical suplex over Nick Sullivan. Both men on the ground. I don't think Sullivan is used to being thrown like that.
I don't think Nick Sullivan's ever been upside down before. That is the first time I've ever seen Nick Sullivan not firmly planted on the mat.
Sullivan making his way to his feet first, and that is where that conditioning comes in. You've talked about how Sullivan is trying to wear down Aldis. He may be achieving that, being able to beat Aldis to his feet, but Aldis able to meet him. Block those right hands, throw a few rights of his own.
Both guys winded here. This is gonna come down to just sheer power. Wow!
Aldis with a diving lariat on Sullivan again. Now he's feeling it. The crowd's behind him. He can't play to the crowd too much. He needs to keep this intensity up so he can keep taking advantage of this. And look at this. Nearly getting Sullivan up. Nearly getting Sullivan up into a fireman's carry. Can't quite get it.
This is it. You take a big man like,
looking for a roll up here.
You take a big man like Nick Aldis, put him up against an even bigger man like Nick Sullivan. You take the wind out of Aldis' sails, he's not going to be able to get Sullivan up. It's a figure 4.
Sullivan talks about how he is planted, how he can't be moved off of his mark, but how well can he plant himself if his legs are hurt? This is a great move by Aldis. He'll be able to take a lot of that power away from Sullivan, a lot of his ability to stay planted, to stay upright, to stay exactly where he wants to do and control the match as he has been.
Aldis can control the match if he can keep the big man down.
He's doing a great job of that right now.
He's doing a great job of that now, but how much wind has Aldis got left?
Rocco just getting involved, trying to push the bottom rope closer to his man Sullivan so he can break that hold. And Aldis caught that.
He's got the hair. Ref, he's got the hair.
Clubbing blow to the back of Aldis from Sullivan. Aldis up on top of Sullivan, manages to escape that scoop slam. Ooh. Catches a back elbow as he runs to the corner.
Wow!
Falling slam from Sullivan on Aldis, and Aldis is out.
It's over. No!
That's about as close to 3 as you can get without getting all the way there, Sideshow.
Second rope. He's deserved it.
Rocos has set him up. Where's Aldis going? Aldis is going nowhere. Where's Sullivan going? No.
Sullivan making his way to the top rope, but Aldis meeting him there. This.
Oh! No!
Samoan drop from Aldis on Sullivan.
Wow! Sullivan's still in this.
We mentioned earlier, I don't think Sullivan is used to getting thrown around like that, and especially not dropped from a man's shoulders.
I've never seen Nick Sullivan carried on someone's shoulders before. Aldis has got extreme power, but how much has he got left? He's going to the top.
He may have just taken inspiration from Sullivan there. Seeing Sullivan go to the top, Aldis thought, hey, maybe I can get there with a little bit more success.
Spending too much time talking to Rocco.
Oh no, Sullivan
up
to his
and
feet,
over.
Throwing Aldis to the middle of the ring.
crowd cheering for Mickey. Mickey James,
The wife
wrestling
of
legend
Nick
at
Aldis.
ringside, the wife of Nick Aldis.
She's here to support her man. Nick Aldis going to the top once again. And a
Big
huge elbow
elbow
drop on Nick Sullivan.
That is all.
Nick Aldis getting the win over Nick Sullivan, but that's not to discount Nick Sullivan. What a hard-fought match.
I would like to just put out there that that wasn't fair. Mickey James came and distracted. She got herself involved in the match.
Oh, sorry, did she choke anybody with her jacket on the ring ropes? Was she pushing the bottom rope closer for a tag
I
for
think
a
she
rope
may
break?
have done something with those tassels on her dress.
I think you may need to get your eyes checked, Sideshow. They might have got knocked loose in the Chinlock Rumble. Those were all things that Rocco did to try to assist his man, Nick Sullivan.
Mickey James, who is of Native American descent, here in Tyendinega Mohawk territory, it is kind of fitting.
Absolutely.
I think she just looked at me.
Better be careful, you could have Nick Aldis down your neck. What a gentleman. Holding the ropes for his wife. The wrong ropes, but still
Did
holding
it
the ropes.
wrong.
Forgot how tall she was.
That's
It
not
happens.
how they do it in England, apparently.
The drive on the left there. He's all
Rightio, put
discombobulated.
another shrimp on the bobby.
He got confused. He came here, he saw the King of the North. He was like, that's not the normal king I talked to. What a contest, Sideshow.
What a finish. What a finish to that match.